Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to ask and answer one simple question. What if, we took melee influence and put it on a shotgun? You see, because we have a class of melee weapons called the Gunblade, and one of those Gunblades is the Redeemer Prime, which is effectively just a blast-based shotgun with a blade on top. Well, on the sides, actually. This Mama Jamma requires Mastery rank 10, and in its melee mode does primarily slash damage with a bit of puncture and impact with a 24% crit chance, 2.2 times crit multi, and a 30% status chance. But it can also go pew, and when that happens, it acts as a shotgun with a base multi-shot of 10, a punch through of 1, and a fall-off that starts at 10 meters and ends at 30, and it does pure blast damage with 9% status chance per projectile. So let's for a second forget about the blades of this Gunblade and give it a shot. Shall we? I can feel the shenanigans flowing through me. This is gonna be... this is gonna be good. We have pure blast. Definitely not going with high noon on this one. Bullet dance all the way. I am out of melee adapters, but that's okay. I thought we could do like a furious light stack build with a lot of pew pew, but Elementalist gives you heavy attack wind-up speed, so maybe we go heavy pew. Oh... Hold on a second. How does Tennokai work with Gunblade? Does shooting the Gunblade trigger Tennokai? And if so, does each pellet count as a hit? Also, how does Discipline's Merit work if it does work? Questions. Well, so far no procs, which is a shame, so maybe we just go with a heavy attack build instead? Never mind! It does work! Yeah, I just got a little bit unlucky. Alright, it does work. What about Discipline's Merit though? Let's swap that around. This should trigger every 4 hits. Oh my god. No way. Oh, that's so good. Let's get Brand Pressure Point. You could run Condition Overload as well if you want to. Blood Rush for crit chance. And I don't think we need Amalgam Organ Chatter. I think regular Organ Chatter is better because we get the wind-up speed from Tennokai and from Elementalist. Since Tennokai works, I wonder if Animosity works as well, so let's try that. Yep, it does work. Good stuff. Let's get Weeping Wounds for the status. Bit more blastage. I'm mainly adding these for the extra status chance here. Yeah, we do need attack speed as well. Ooh, that's pretty saucy, my dudes. And dudettes. Can't forget about the dudettes, can we now? I don't know why I'm testing Pure Blast against Max Silver Grenier. That's rather ambitious, isn't it? But it's doing some work. It's working. So this works, this is fine, but I have a better idea. A rather silly idea as well. So let's do that. We're gonna start off by removing Berserker Fury. Yeah. We're gonna replace it with Shocking Touch. We're gonna swap Animosity to Influence. Even though I don't like to do this, we're actually gonna involve our Warframe for once and get attack speed from Arcane Strike. Bathe me in silliness, come on. Oh, it's beautiful. It's the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen. Yes! This is gonna be fun. Oh, this is amazing. Look at it go! Now that's a silly blast build. This is one of those builds that makes the enemy density feel weird because it kills stuff so fast in such a massive area. It actually feels like the enemies are not spawning at all. Though, to be fair, they seem to be clumping up over here as well. However, even though the density feels low, look at the life support. We're on full life support, which is a good indicator that you're killing stuff fast. Single target should be more than good enough as well. What about you? Yep, no problemo. Lovely. This is terrific. Absolutely top notch. It would be better with some projectile speed though, so you get more range. Hello, Angst. Oof. My god, what a shot. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. Oh my god, that's still a thing? Like, there's been an issue with the Redeemer, and maybe with the other Gunblades as well, where if the enemy is right up in your face, you just can't shoot them. You shoot right past them for some reason. I don't think they're ever gonna fix that. What an amazingly silly instrument of destruction. I have a feeling this is gonna be absolutely cracked against the Infested. I don't even know what's happening. This is just such a mess. I feel like the arcanes you get for melees and secondaries are way better than the ones you get for primaries. Because with melee weapons you get stuff like Influence and Duplicate and Crescendo, and then secondaries have Cucumber and Empowered and all that, and primaries have just like oh yeah, you get a lot of damage, or multi-shot, or reload speed or something. I just realized that this is basically just yet another iteration of the critical gunslinger build. My god, that's an old one. I put that together when bullet downs first came out, and I used it with Valkyrie and like loads of attack speed with like Warcry and Arcane Strike and Berserker and all that. Aw, good times. By the way, this should work on any Gunblade that has good enough status chance. Like even if it doesn't have crit, you can just invest a little bit more into status and all that, but yeah, you can do this on pretty much any of them, as long as they have the status chance to support it. Well, even though I'm not super happy that we can't get attack speed from the weapon itself, so you need some other form of attack speed, whether it be Arcane Strike or something like Warcry, I think we're done. I'm very happy with the build, so let's wrap it up. So, here's the final build for the Redeemer Prime, and it is an absolute banger. For the stance, we're running Bullet Dance, which is objectively better for a setup like this than High Noon, so if you don't have Bullet Dance, get it. Then for our Tennokai trigger, we're running Discipline's Merit, which is absolutely ridiculous for this setup, because if you fire into a group of enemies, you instantly get a Tennokai proc. This often allows you to alternate between light and heavy attacks, which is absolutely stupid. The amount of damage you can get out of that is just dumb. Then as far as the normal mods go, we have Primed Pressure Point, though you could go with Condition Overload as well. We have Blood Rush for crit chance, Organ Shatter for crit damage, Weeping Wounds for a bunch of scaling status, Shocking Touch for electricity, Volcanic Edge and Vicious Frost for blast damage and status chance, and then Melee Elementalist for status damage and heavy attack wind-up speed. And finally, the crown jewel of this build is of course Melee Influence. This is just an incredibly strong arcane if you give it at least a little bit of thought, because whenever you proc electricity on something, you have a chance to gain a buff that then spreads all the status you proc to enemies within a relatively large area. So when you use stuff like electricity, blast, gas, stuff that scales based on the number of enemies you're hitting and stuff that can overlap, you can get some amazing damage out of it. This is basically a complete 180 for the Redeemer Prime, because the Redeemers have always been really strong single target wise. Yes, they have punch through on the shots, but 1 meter of punch through isn't like amazing, right? You get a bit of AoE when you're firing into groups, but that's about it. It was mostly used for big single target damage. Well, not anymore, it's not, because this is some of the most utterly stupid area of effect damage you can get on a melee weapon. It's just dumb how fast this deletes entire rooms full of enemies. So I would absolutely recommend you give this a shot. It's amazing. And as always guys, I thank you very much for watching and I hope you've enjoyed the video. Then I would also like to extend a special thank you to all the channel members. Thank you very much guys, I really appreciate your support, it means a lot to me. And I will see you next time. Bye bye.